Story 2 Cracks in the Chief, Strang in the Team. The morning of April 1st didn't start with jokes or pranks. It started with aching coughs and a bitter taste of exhaustion. I had woken up late overslept despite setting two alarms and was jolted into motion by the realization that I had less than an hour to get ready and ride through the maze of Surabaya traffic to reach the Grand Royal restaurant at PTC Mall. My bones protest as I got out of the bed, but I had no time to complain. I threw on my uniform shirt slightly wrinkled from the stuff into my bag the night before and grabbed the leftover fried rice my mom packed for me. As I zipped out of the house, my phone buzzed with a message from Daniel. Bro, help! My bike's acting weird. Just hit a pothole and now it sounds like it's caving. Are you serious? I replied. Serious as our manager's dad stared yesterday. But I'm still coming. Don't die before I arrive. I didn't have time to reply. I had 10 minutes to beat the clock and maybe fate. I answered. The ride was madness, even though it had technically passed. The streets were still packed with families making late visits, kids on new bicycles, and tukang ice cream weaving between cars like street racers. Every red light felt like a personal insult from the universe. I arrived 7 minutes late, better than yesterday, but still not great. Daniel arrived 25 minutes after I did, hair sticking out from under his helmet, sweat pouring down his face like he'd just sprinted across Surabaya. He looked like a war survivor. Pak Yanto's gonna kill me, he said between breaths. My bike was fine 1 second, and then boom, it started sputtering like it had asthma. He already gave you the look, I replied. But I told him what happened, so maybe you were alive. We didn't even get a chance to settle before we were pulled into the chaos. The restaurant wasn't as packed as the day before, but it still buzzed with noise. Dishes clanked, children cried, and waiters shouted out codes like they were in a military drill. Midway through our first hour, a customer at table 9 waved over me. A well-dressed woman with her husband and two toddlers pointed to the dishes on her table. Mas, we ordered sapo tahu seafood, not ayam kung pao. This is completely wrong. I bowed slightly, apologizing. I'm so sorry, ma'am. Let me fix this for you right away. As I returned to the kitchen to clarify the mistake, I overheard one of our newer part-timers, a guy named Sinaga, mumbling nervously. He was holding two takeaway boxes in his hands, like looking like he was on the verge of panic. What's up? I asked. I think I switched the contents of these boxes. One's supposed to be nasi goreng seafood and other nasi goreng ayam. I didn't label them. I didn't even need to guess what was going to happen. 10 minutes later, a customer called back, furious, claiming they'd driven home to find the wrong food in their order. Pak Yanto stormed into the kitchen. Who packed the wrong order? This is the second complaint today. Everyone fell silent. Daniel and I exchanged a look, but Sinaga raised his hand. I did. I'm sorry, Pa. I mixed them up. He let out a frustrated sigh. Be more careful. One more mistake like this and you're out. And the rest of you make sure this doesn't happen again. The tension in the kitchen was thick, No one dared make a sound. I could feel Sinaga's embarrassment seeping into his skin. During break time, Daniel and I found him sitting alone near the pantry, stirring his iced tea with a plastic straw, eyes locked on the floor. Hey man, I said, offering him a biscuit. Happens to the best of us. Yeah, Daniel added, sliding onto the crate beside him. First week's always rough. I once gave a vegetarian customer shrimp dumplings by accident. She cursed me in three different languages. That got a small chuckle from Sinaga, though it was weak and a little sad. I just, I don't want to screw up again, he said quietly. Then don't, I replied. But don't let one mistake make you feel like you don't belong here. We all messed up, just be sharper next time. The rest of the day went by in a blur. Daniel worked with extra speed, probably trying to make up for being late. I managed to handle the orders with fewer hiccups, though I nearly dropped a tray when a little kid tugged on my apron out of nowhere. By the end of the shift, my shirt was drenched, my shoes were slippery from a spilled drink incident, and my throat was parched from hours of talking over restaurant noise. But we were survived again. Then came salary time. That's when things turned messy. The cashier that handled the payouts, a woman called Mbak Kasir, we don't know her real name, looked rushed and distracted. I got my envelope open and opened it quickly. 146 rupiah, same as the day before. Fair. Daniel opened his and frowned. Wait, why did I only get 113? I looked at him, surprised. What? He went up to Mbak Kasir. Mbak, there's a mistake in my pay. You were late. That's why I deduct an hour, Mbak Kasir said without looking up from her clipboard. But yesterday, we were both late only 15 minutes. And we both got full pay, Daniel argued. That was yesterday. I have discretion today, she replied with a shrug. Something didn't feel right. I noticed another girl, Vanessa, looking into her envelope, confused. Excuse me, Mbak, I said, stepping up. We were told our pay would be based on the full shift. And if there's a penalty, it should be consistent. Mbak Kasir replied. You want me to deduct yours too? No, but I just want to make sure everyone's paid what they earned, I said, keeping my tone polite but firm. After a few awkward moments, and with some side whispers from another staff, Mbak Kasir relented and adjusted Daniel and Vanessa's envelopes. It wasn't much, but it meant something. As we left the restaurant that night, Daniel slapped my back. You are my hero, man! Only on Tuesday, I said with a grin. The parking lot was nearly empty, the mall lights dimmed. Our bikes were still there. Daniel sputtered a little, but it survived the ride. I feel like we're earning our stripes in real time, Daniel said as we rode side by side. Yeah, we'll have war stories to tell our grandkids someday. Grandkids? Bro, I just want a wife. I want to marry my girl Rena first. I laughed so hard I nearly missed my turn. The road home was dark but familiar, and the air was finally cool on my skin. Another, another day done, another day survived, another chapter written in unglamorous, exhausting, but strangely rewarding book of our eighth holiday hustle. We rode in silence for a while, cutting through the city's patchy orange glow as night settled across Surabaya. The streets weren't as congested as they had been earlier, but still alive with the scattered leftovers on the day street vendors folding up their carts. Children laughing on sidewalks, the hum of motorcycles zipping past us. You think it's always gonna be like this? Daniel asked suddenly. I glanced over. What? Working like madmen during every holiday? He chuckled. That and chasing money like it's some sort of ghost. We get it and it vanishes. I thought about it. There's something hauntingly true in what he said. We'd earn money today, sure, but between food, gas, and saving for college needs, our pockets would be light again by morning. I don't think it will always be like this, I said. It's just the season we are in. Everyone's got a struggle. Ours just happens to be a little louder and sweatier right now. Daniel nodded slowly. Still, I hope one day we'll be the ones tipping waiters big on it, not the ones forgetting what the holiday even feels like. Same, I murmured, but for now, we grinned. When I got home, I tried to sneak in quietly, hoping to avoid waking anyone. But as I stepped inside, I found my little sister sitting across leg on the living room floor, building a puzzle with pieces that seemed to advance for her age. You're late again, she said without looking up. You are still awake? I asked. Mama said you are working hard. She saved you some ayam ketchup in the kitchen. That simple gesture almost broke me. I hadn't realized how hungry I was until she said that. Thanks, Pip. You are the real MVP. She smiled and went back to her puzzle. I tiptoed into the kitchen. We heated the food and sat alone at the table, savoring every bite. For a moment, all the tightness and the frustration and chaos of the day faded behind the warm taste of home. Afterward, I stood by the window in my room, looking out the quiet neighborhood. I thought about Daniel, about Raka, about how even though this wasn't the aid he we had imagined, it was still a time of learning, of fighting forward, of slowly building something better one exhausting shift at a time. I opened my phone and typed out a quick journal entry. Nothing too poetic, just facts, a way to remember. April 1st, 2025. We were late again. Daniel's bike nearly died. Sinaga made a mistake. The manager got mad. The cashier tried to cheat us. But we stood up, we helped each other, and we got paid, not just with money, with experience, with pride. Day 2 done. As I lay in bed, my limbs heavy and sore, I realized something. Work like this teaches you more than just how to serve food or fold napkins. It teaches you passion, teamwork, how to hold your head up even when everything around you tries to push it down. And it and in that small silent victory there was something beautiful.